Bishop, good to see you again on this Martin Luther King weekend coming up. It's a holiday. A lot of people today only know Martin Luther King because of the holiday, and people like you and I actually remember him.
That's right.
What do you remember about Martin Luther King?
Well, I think in his day, he was a national figure that was trying to deal in a peaceful way with the new revival of the black community, looking for civil rights. Things were pretty bad back at that point in history. The civil rights of black people were very limited, especially in the South, with voting rights and all kinds of other problems they had. So they took his leadership, which was for the most part a very peaceful leadership. I mean, there were other people around him who didn't always agree, and there always were incidents that marred the peaceful movement he tried to start. The tragic end was, his assassination was a terrible blow to the country and to the black community in a special way. So we have to remember the good he did. I mean, he really was a man of faith. We listen to some of the sermons we have that are written in his own handwriting. They were really testaments of a Christian faith that was very deep.
Yeah, well, we regard him today as pretty much of a prophet, in his day, and but at the time he wasn't very popular among the people there, because people looked at him as being disruptive.
That's right.
But as you say, he tried to bring a nonviolent message to the whole thing.
Right. It was a misunderstanding, and people were very reticent about thinking that equal rights were possible. It was all kinds of roadblocks thrown up, and it doesn't work, and what's going to happen. So there was a lot of things happening. Don't forget, we had just witnessed a massive migration of black people from the South to the North. That had happened not less 20 years before. Mm-hmm. So it had changed the complexion of the country in many ways. Complexion, I say, but the balance of the country. And there certainly were more problems in the South than in the North, but the North had the same kind of issues. So it was a disruptive time in our society, and we came through it, but a lot of people suffered.
Do you think we made progress? I mean, how much progress have we made? We still seem to have a lot of racial incidents in this country.
Well, I think we made a lot of progress. Are we in a perfect balance? No. What are the issues today? We hear certainly the black young community is saying Black Lives Matter. It's a slogan, but it tells you that they don't feel completely integrated. They don't feel they have the rights everyone else does. It's debatable, obviously, if people see things one way or another. But we've got to look at the situation objectively as we can to recognize that black lives have to matter first to black people. We see the violence within the black community itself on black people. That's where the most of it happens. Mm-hmm. So it's not just the incidents with policing, usually at the request of black people, come and help us, and then you get an incident that happens. So it's a very touchy situation. But again, violence is a problem in our society. There is too much violence. We eat, sleep, and drink it. And that's why it comes out of the gun violence, it comes out and all the disruptive things that happen. So we've got to, look at the leadership of Martin Luther King. It was peaceful, nonviolent work. And that's what we have to go back to.
Can it work today, though? I mean, we look at situations in St. Louis and in Baltimore where there were riots in the street.
Yeah, but it has to happen. It has to work because there's no other way of doing it. Violence begets violence. Mm-hmm. Without a peaceful approach, we're just going to have more reaction and more violence. So we need to go back to what did work.
Mm-hmm. We have a very vibrant black Catholic community in Brooklyn here. It's I would say probably one of the larger black communities of Catholics in the country.
That's true. It's certainly true between the Caribbean people or Catholic, between the native black Americans who were, in the diocese. We do, again, it's hard to count all these numbers, but we do have a significant black Catholic community here.
Yeah, and the liturgies kind of lively usually. you
lively
know.
and long.
I was going to say,
They're
you know,
not afraid to stay in church.
we're used to our 1 hour liturgies, but it's easy to go 2 or 3 hours in some of the black
right,
communities. Bishop, thanks so much,
Okay.
and enjoy the weekend.
Good.